Can you guys? I don't think this camera can see that.
Whoa! Whoa! There's something standing right over there.
Paranormal Discovery heads into the mountains of British Columbia with Angelo and several friends for one final investigation before leaving the province. Their destination is a remote campsite surrounded by wilderness, strange local stories, and unexplained noises they have heard on previous visits. After reaching the mountain, the group finds the campsite completely empty.
It does not seem like anybody's camping here. This is the only camp spot up here in this mountain. I remember doing this last year. It was one of my favorite spots. Down there, it's where I sprayed myself with bear mace on accident. I really encourage you guys to never spray downwind. Never do it. But I definitely heard some creepy shit. We'll come back down here after we go to the top. I think you can actually take this trail up to the top, but I'll probably take the road. No freaking fires, unfortunately, but oh boy. It's a very, very spiritual spot. Very heavy. It's cold, dude. It's freaking cold up here. It's very cold. It dropped a shit ton of Fahrenheit. We lost a lot of Fahrenheit coming up this mountain right now. I think we lost like 10 degrees, if anything. Maybe a little less, but still, it's like 12 degrees, 11 degrees up here. But I do have to say, it's very spiritual.
They begin setting up while discussing strange sounds reported around the area. With nobody else camping nearby, they plan to return after dark and investigate anything they hear. Hours later, they head back out with flashlights. The mountain is now completely dark, and the group starts following the road away from camp. Almost immediately, the atmosphere feels different from earlier. Something begins moving below them. Everyone stops and listens.
Dude, something's moving down there. It's very faint. Don't know if the mic would have caught that, but just gonna walk forward and listen. Give you guys the chance to listen. I'm being 100% serious right now because I'm legitimately scared that there's bears out here.
The sound appears to come from somewhere down the slope, but the darkness makes it impossible to see what is responsible. Later, activity shifts closer to the campsite. They notice people or lights farther up the road and begin questioning whether somebody else has entered the area.
It's like people up by the campsite now? We're up on the road? Hello? The fuck is this? I'm so intrigued, but like, fuck is this, dude? Angelo better not have drove off on me. That was definitely his truck. Or it could have been the other people. I hear something. Whoa.
Rather than assuming everything they hear is paranormal, they remain cautious about other campers or hikers. A sudden scream-like sound echoes through the darkness.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Someone by the camp? Or something? What the shit? It literally sounded like it came from our camp. What the fuck?
The group listens for another response, while strange noises continue from below the road. Nobody can confidently identify what produced them. Two distant lights then appear through the trees. As the group moves around the area, more sounds follow.
Because I saw lights, it was really weird. I saw these two lights, like through the trees.
Oh, really?
And it looked like they were moving towards me, but I couldn't make out what they were.
Oh.
So I don't know if
Okay.
like somebody was out there hiking, but it didn't really seem like there was a trail out there.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it
Well,
was too high up.
you can see if the lights are on the cliff or
Yeah,
whatever.
definitely. Just want a second to warm up my hands.
Damn, bro. This is actually like nerve-wracking. I thought I was gonna get attacked for a second. There's something in the vicinity. I just don't know where it is. But guys, we literally just heard it. Like almost in a bunch of different directions too. In every direction there's something.
They begin feeling as though whatever was making the earlier noises has moved closer to their position. Another unexpected sound stops them again. They search around the cliff and surrounding forest but cannot find a clear source. Eventually, the group admits the area simply feels wrong. Even after checking the surrounding trails, they never identify what was moving below them.
It's kind of an odd feeling, man. I don't really get a good feeling, if you know what I mean. Spiritually.
Nothing directly approaches the campsite, and the night ends without a confrontation. Still, the unexplained sounds give them one final unsettling experience before leaving British Columbia. Mo Sargi decides to test a new hot tent by camping alone deep inside his own forest. The property is familiar to him, but previous investigations have produced strange metallic sounds, and the wildlife becomes unusually active once he settles in. Mo introduces the plan and begins carrying his equipment into the woods.
I'm gonna be camping inside this hot tent sent to me by Cootie. I'm very excited to try it out because this thing is supposed to fit a lot of people. And I'll explain more about it to you guys as I'm setting it up and where I'm gonna set it up and why I'm setting it up. Originally, I wanted to actually do this video deep in the forest in an area that's kind of open space, but it's very hard to get to on foot even without snow. And right now the snow is literally still waist deep.
Rather than sleeping in his cabin, he wants to spend the entire night inside a tent surrounded by forest. On the way to the campsite, Mo passes the section of his property where he previously investigated unexplained metallic noises. Nothing unusual happens yet, so he continues toward the clearing. After
Well, I don't
setting
even
up
think,
camp,
like-
Mo begins hearing strange sounds farther into the woods.
Also, I've been hearing some very strange noises, minus that drone sound right now, and back there. And I could swear I seen something moving back there. Something big. I don't know what it is, but it startled me off camera. So, yeah, we got to keep an eye out for that. I'm going to go grab my gun in a little bit too.
He launches a drone to investigate from above. The noises are unfamiliar enough that he wants to determine whether another person or animal is somewhere nearby. While looking across the property, Mo spots what appears to be a coyote moving through the bushes.
I think there's a coyote down there. I don't know if the little camera that I have is going to see that, but somewhere way down past the bushes, it looked like a coyote.
It disappears before he can get a clear view. He finds fresh tracks nearby and tries to determine what made them.
Yeah. That's like recently too. Coyote, maybe bobcat. I'm trying to find there's a lot of footprints here. So this is a sign that the animals know it's starting to get warm and they're coming out. And they're more active. I'm gonna go on foot. I don't want to disturb any of these like prints that I'm finding. There's shit everywhere. There's literally poop everywhere. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, all I see is poop. Like, there's so much poop in my forest right now.
Some appear consistent with coyotes, or possibly a bobcat. Then Mo sees movement again. A coyote appears in the distance.
Oh man, I don't have a zoom camera. I definitely saw a coyote down there. Like, can you guys, I don't think this camera can see that. I see it, like I see it hiding behind a fucking tree. There's a coyote down there for sure. It's down there.
Mo fires warning shots to scare it away rather than allowing it to approach the campsite.
It just took off running. I'm only firing warning shots. There was a coyote down there, legit. Let's go find its tracks. I don't want to kill it. I just want to scare it away. Get it out of here. Get away from me. Let's fire one more.
The encounter makes him more cautious because he knows several coyotes could be moving around the property. He jokes about something stranger being responsible, but acknowledges that wildlife is the most likely explanation. Later, temperatures drop below freezing. Mo settles into the heated tent and decides he will only go outside again if he hears something clearly unusual.
Be honest, I gotta show you guys something. I never knew these little tiny stoves become little mini portable flamethrowers. Look at that. That is freaking insane. That is coming off the roof of the cabin right now. Holy crap. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. That's insanely good. This is the first thing I eat today. Wow. So good. Man, that is sizzling. So good. Wow.
Morning arrives safely. A deer runs from the campsite as Mo steps outside, confirming how active the surrounding forest remained overnight. Nothing enters the tent, and Mo completes the camp without another close encounter. Ray Gloom's real-life encounters heads alone into remote wilderness after noticing something strange moving through the trees. What begins as an attempt to identify an animal gradually turns into a long effort to find his way out, while feeling that something is following him. Ray moves toward the area where he believes he saw something. Branches begin snapping nearby.
And I wanted to take a look, and I was probably the wrong thing. But then I heard... Yeah, that's what I heard. Okay, I have no idea what that even was. Probably shouldn't even be here. I'm hearing something else. I feel like I just heard some twigs or branches snap. Yeah, that's creeping me out. Yep. I think my hike ends now.
For a moment, he wonders whether the animal could be a bear, but he cannot see enough through the vegetation to identify it. More branches snap as Ray continues. A squirrel begins giving warning calls, suggesting something else may be moving nearby. Then another sound comes from ahead.
So, wind's picking up a little bit, but at the moment I'm not seeing anything. Hopefully that's a good thing. My knees. Whoa, something just attacked me. A bug. No, that's a butterfly. It hit my head. I just got attacked by a butterfly. What the? Why would a butterfly attack me? Kind of stings a little bit. It like went fast into my head. I'm okay. That really surprised me. I'm not hearing anything. Okay, that's a good enough rest.
Ray starts believing something is following him. He hears movement coming uphill toward his position.
That scared me so bad. Wait a minute, where's the trail going? Where's the trail? Shoot, I might be in trouble. I'm not going back. I know in this general direction where I'm supposed to go, but where's the trail? It just came and ended. Yeah, I don't like that. I go down a trail, I come back up it, and suddenly it's just gone. Well, I guess it must have forked or something I didn't know, and I went the wrong way.
Several heavy steps follow, sounding large enough that he immediately considers a grizzly bear.
But it was down the hill. That's where I heard something stepping, but it actually sounded like it was coming up towards me and then curve and start to go away. So maybe I'm getting lucky. But I know you guys heard that. It was big, but here's what's weird. I heard like multiple steps. Like if it was something big walking on all the fours, like if it was like a big grizzly bear. I mean, what kind of movements would it have to just step like that? All four legs to be breaking something with each step. Unless it was like dragging or something. Which is kind of weird. Well, I gotta go somewhere. Guess I'll try to go up.
Hair caught nearby strengthens that concern. Ray studies it and concludes that a grizzly is one possible explanation. Being alone without an obvious escape route makes continuing increasingly uncomfortable. He finds tracks suggesting an animal sprinted through the area.
There's a lot of pushing around though, like something, it doesn't look like something walked. It looked like something was sprinting. But it couldn't be a bear, right? Look how close these are together. See, here's right here. And it's going on a line like that. That would be more likely to indicate something like a deer or an elk. But there's so much movement of earth right there. For some reason, it just doesn't seem to match. A bear would probably be a little more widespread. This is actually making me feel a little bit better. But I'm getting the impression that something's coming down. Just something was sprinting down here. Well, does that matter?
More prints appear farther along, although he cannot confidently determine what made them. The feeling of being followed returns. Strangely, whenever Ray stops, the movement also seems to disappear. He continues rather than waiting for whatever may be behind him. Much later, Ray realizes he is still struggling to find the correct trail.
What the creepiness is going on? This just gets worse and worse. Well, then how do I know if I should even keep following this trail? Do I need to go back down and see if it forks off to another trail or something? But how could I have missed it? It's in the right place. Because here's the hill. And I came down around it. There's the hill. This obviously has to be it. So what the heck's going on?
Then he discovers large tracks nearby. Their size again makes him consider a bear. More large prints appear as Ray tries to navigate back. By now, darkness and worsening weather are becoming additional concerns.
I'm making too much noise and I have to do it right now. If I don't, I might be dead. Oh, fine. I see a bunch of creepy tracks right here. Something big has been wandering through here. Nice. Oh, right there. I can make it. Shoot. Okay. I think I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna park it in these trees and I'm not gonna move a muscle. I'm trying to get myself to stop shaking. I've gotten a little bit better.
Ray believes something has crossed his route again. Instead of remaining in place, he keeps moving and focuses on reaching familiar ground. Eventually, he decides the safest option is to move quickly toward the known trail. He never gets a clear view of whatever produced the tracks and noises, leaving the encounter unresolved when he finally heads out. Midwest Ghost Hunter spends the night alone inside Nebraska's historic Argo Hotel, a former railroad hotel known for reports of moving objects, disembodied voices, and doors opening without explanation. Before entering, he explains the hotel's history and some of its best-known paranormal claims.
It was built in 1911 as an upper-class railroad hotel until 1935 when it was converted into the New Meridian Sanatorium. It is said that many patients have died within the sanatorium, and rumors of dangerous experimental treatments ran rampant. It was eventually shut down in the 1960s for falsifying documents and has since been renovated into a bed and breakfast. The most infamous spirit that is said to haunt this place is a woman named Alice. She is said to have died during childbirth down in the basement during the sanatorium days. Her ghost has been heard sobbing out loud and is said to wander the hotel looking for her infant baby. What's also very strange is that during renovations of this building, skeletal remains of an infant child were found inside one of the walls. Many believe that the skeleton belongs to Alice's baby.
Guests have reported bathroom doors moving by themselves, women's voices, shifting glasses, and even an old piano apparently playing without anyone touching it. The investigation begins quietly until he hears what sounds like a woman's voice.
That sounded like a lady's voice, right there. I swear to God, I just heard that right behind me. Alice, is that you? She's that ghostly woman that they see wandering around. Could you say something again?
He searches the hallway, but cannot find anyone nearby.
I don't know if I'm just losing it, but I swear to God I heard that. I'm not hearing anything else. It's dead quiet. Alice, was that you I just heard? Whoa. There's something standing right over there. It was right behind that couch. There was something literally standing in that photo. It was like a mist or something.
Inside room 6, He knocks against a door and waits. Moments later, the doorknob appears to jiggle on its own.
Anyone home?
Whoa. No freaking way. Dude, that doorknob, it just freaking jiggled. Oh my god. This freaking thing, it just freaking jiggled all by itself.
He immediately backs away and asks whether someone inside moved it. Another sound comes from nearby beads. He asks whatever may be present to repeat the movement, trying to determine whether the first noise was accidental.
Who just moved this doorknob? Was that you? Whoever's haunting this room? Just a note, it is a lot colder in here than it is in that hallway or in any room I've been in so far. It's kind of strange how this door was shut, because it was open before. I don't know if the door stopper just came loose or what. I mean, it's right there, so I don't know what to make of that.
Downstairs, something sounds like glassware moving. Then one glass appears to shift.
Could you move it again?
Whoa. Okay, what the hell was that now?
That sounded like one of these glasses moving around.
Whoa. Okay, this is getting crazy.
I'm hearing noises all around me. If that's you, could you move one of those wine glasses up there? Could you tell me who you are? Not hearing him again.
He compares its position and becomes convinced it was not where he originally left it. Another object moves behind him. The repeated activity is frustrating because it continually happens just outside his direct line of sight.
Could you tell me your name? I'm getting a little freaked out now. Something else just moved. And it's always got to be behind me. Why does it always have to be freaking behind me? It freaks me out. What the heck got moved? I'm not even sure.
Near the end of the investigation, he enters an area containing several dolls. A small girl's voice seems to come from nearby.
Alright, I'm legitimately ready to go. I don't want to be down here. That literally sounded like a little girl. A little girl's voice. Hello? What's your name? My name is Ian. Are you one of the patients from the hospital?
He hears it more than once despite being alone. Then one of the dolls appears to turn its head toward him.
Did you just make that noise? It definitely came from over here. Little girl, if that was you, would you be able to...
Oh god! Alright, that's it. That's it. That doll just turned and looked at me, and I am done. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
That finally breaks his composure. He immediately leaves the room, repeatedly looking back at the doll. After an entire night of voices, moving objects, and unexplained noises, the apparent movement is enough for him to stop pushing the investigation any further. Black Mass Paranormal heads deep into mountainous wilderness while investigating stories connected to the Cherokee legend of the Raven Mocker. The trip is especially personal because the creator previously experienced something unexplained in the same region. As he travels deeper into the mountains, he explains the Raven Mocker legend. In Cherokee tradition, the creature is described less as an animal and more as a dangerous witch-like figure associated with death.
There has been some pretty sketchy things happen. Dogman has been reported out here. There has been massive canine footprints found out here. Some of the DNA that I have of Dogman actually came from this area. But the main thing that we are going to be talking about is the Raven Mocker. Now, I want to go all the way back in Appalachia history and the first talks about, because the first things that were talked about happened in this area, and it happened with the Native Americans. The Native Americans talked about a cryptid, spiritual kind of entity that was, again, a step in between man and human, and that came to be the Raven Mocker. Now, this thing is said to be kind of like a humanoid overall. The Raven Mocker was presented as this like flying creature that was actually said to feed on dying people.
He then recounts what happened during an earlier investigation.
And I was in my truck, and it was about 4 or 5 or so in the morning. We had all kind of bedded down at that point, and John and Josh were in their sleeping bags, and all of a sudden this loud thing just slammed in on top of my truck. I had what's called a headache bar that holds lights above it. It's not like a roll bar, but it's similar. And whatever this thing was, it landed on the roof of my truck and hit it so hard that like the truck like shook.
At around 4 or 5 in the morning, something suddenly landed on the roof of his truck with enough force to shake the entire vehicle. The impact terrified everyone inside. When he later checked the truck, an unexplained watery substance was covering part of it. He explains that another investigator had a similar encounter. That person reportedly saw something perched in a tree, but was too shocked to react before it disappeared. Those experiences are why he has returned to investigate the area more carefully. The journey takes him onto increasingly rough mountain roads. Logging traffic and slick surfaces make simply reaching the investigation area difficult. While scanning the woods, he notices what looks like a black figure in the distance.
Okay, so that looks like a black figure over there. I want to pull out the tri-field meter and check something. Because right in this turn,
he studies it carefully and considers whether it could simply be a reflection or natural object. He later returns to the story of the figure seen sitting in a tree during the previous encounter. The surrounding terrain fits the descriptions he has heard, but nothing clearly reveals itself during the current visit. Farther into the mountains, more dark shapes among the leaves repeatedly catch his attention.
and I saw these like black figures that I thought it was just the leaves, like in a certain position, but now I'm not seeing them at all. That's freaking weird.
Again, none can be confirmed as anything unusual. As darkness and bad weather approach, he decides to leave. The investigation produces no repeat of the violent impact on his truck, but returning allows him to document the isolated landscape where the original encounter occurred. Rambling On heads out for a solo overnight camp with a lightweight tent, looking for a quiet place to test new equipment. He finds one, although the campsite has a problem that becomes obvious once he reveals exactly where the tent is pitched.
I had a bit of a faff getting the tent up. I have the inner pretty level, but the rest of it is on an angle. I had pitched it and seam sealed it at home, but I forgot to fit the inner. There's two of these loops on each side that should attach to the outer fly sheet, but there's nothing to attach them to, so it's going to be a bit flappy tonight. I'm not going to worry about it. This is the best little spot I found up here.
After struggling with the setup, he finally gets the tent standing. The ground is uneven, and parts of the inner tent are not properly attached to the fly sheet, but the shelter is stable enough for one night. Inside, the tent feels surprisingly secure. Then he reveals the location.
Pretty happy with it. I'm a bit annoyed about the little loops on the sides, but sure, what can you do? Just no point whinging about it now. Yeah, boys. Might as well get the pan on, I suppose. I'm doing a chicken burger tonight. Getting fair fancy. It's my wife's idea. So if it goes arseways, we'll blame her. I told her during the week that I think I should write up a will. I told her that I was like, you know, in case anything happened, I didn't want her having any bother. But really it's because I do silly things like this and I pitch my tent beside a small cliff. I've got like, I'd say 4 foot max to where the cliff is from the edge of the tent. Oh my God. Like, even in one part there, it could be 2.5, 3 foot.
The shelter is pitched only a few feet from the edge of a steep cliff. He estimates that there is roughly 4 feet between the tent and the drop. In places, the cliff falls around 30 feet. He knows that getting out during the night without remembering which direction he is facing could end badly. Once inside, he lowers the inner tent and settles into his chair. The evening becomes much more relaxed. He cooks a burger and enjoys being sheltered from the weather. Another problem appears before bed. Spiders begin entering the shelter in large numbers, forcing him to zip the inner section completely closed.
Just getting myself layered up. I have my British Army wool jumper on. I have my Dutch Army wool hat on. And yeah, I have my Decathlon gloves on. I got a good bit of army surplus stuff for Christmas and that. What I did was I bought everything and then I just dispersed it out to my family and they gave it back to me. It was just handier to do it that way rather than dropping hints and all that. But yeah, the wool jumper, I just really wanted to try it because I think natural fibres and army surplus gear can be useful for hiking and camping and all that.
Still, he remains warm and decides to stay. Morning arrives after a poor night's sleep. The sloping ground caused him to repeatedly slide during the night, but he never accidentally moved toward the cliff. While packing the tent, he spots a tick crawling nearby. He is relieved he wore gaiters, although he admits there may be more hidden on his clothing. In daylight, he finally shows how close the shelter really was to the edge.
I just thought I'd show you where I was last night. Tent's behind me, obviously. Turn around then. And the cliff is just here. Yeah, I'd say it's a good 30-foot drop down there. And then if you come over this way, again, the tent is behind me. Just turn here. And you see that little dip there? There's nothing in that. That's just dead. That's all that is. Yeah, it was a bit dodgy here last night because, you know, when you're kind of jumping around trying to get the camera set up and the whole lot, you forget where you are, and then, you know, it takes you a second to realise that you're right beside the cliff. Especially when it's dark, you know. I had to put my camera as close to the cliff as I could just to get a decent angle of the tent. It was literally in this little bushy area here, and the tent is there behind me.
The drop begins only a few steps from where he slept. Nothing approaches the tent during the night, but between the cliff, spiders, uneven ground, and ticks, the supposedly peaceful campsite creates enough problems on its own. Rugged Road Explorers is an exploration channel where Dave hikes into remote places to document old ruins, cliff dwellings, and hidden traces of the past. In this video, he drops into a quiet canyon after spotting possible dwellings from above the day before.
I stepped back because I was looking down here, hoping I would see a rock that would, fit that doorway there.
Dave begins by explaining that he had scanned the cliffs from the top but could not properly mark the locations. So he now enters from the valley floor to climb up toward them. Before reaching the ruins, he notices a carved pool in the rock, possibly a water source.
So I want to show you this because it's so neat how everything's cut. The water comes through and cuts everything. And then right here, you have kind of a catch pool. And I don't know if it's fed by a spring or not. There sure is a lot growing here. So it could be a little bit of a stream, or maybe it's just a catch pool, but it would have been an important water source.
Nearby caves and ledges cut into the canyon walls show why this place may have been useful for people living here long ago. He climbs above the first dwelling to check the higher levels and soon finds what looks like a small storage area, with old mud still visible inside.
Hey, you come up on something like this. I mean, this is a beautiful panel. There doesn't seem to be anything on it, but I'll check the film later because a lot of times things show up on camera that I can't see with my naked eye, depending on the light at the time. Right here we have our first storage area, it looks like, or what's left of one. There's still some mud back in the back there. So it's like I thought, they do use multiple levels, and this again is a perfect example of that. I'm not sure what they stored in there, but what I'm seeing right here on the ground, are pine nut holes.
On the ground, he spots pine nutshells, wondering if food may once have been stored there in pots. Dropping down to the main structure, Dave finds multiple connected rooms, thick wooden supports, smooth stonework, and possible doorways.
It looks like people have been here and, stacked things. We got corn, we got jasper shards, and different kinds of pottery. You can see how that little cove on the other side there was tied into this dwelling. So that, they built this on top of that, it looks like. And then you've got this window right here. Boy, look at that support. They were serious. These are nice and thick. And again, boy, they did a good job of smoothing it off. Well, matter of fact, it looks like there were multiple ones here. And you can see the rocks have fallen back. Get out of the shadow here. Backwards.
He studies how the builders tied the walls into the natural rock, using heavy logs and carefully placed stones. Inside one section, he notices blackened stone and suggests it may have been used for cooking, smoking, or another fire-related purpose.
So it was fairly big. I mean, it's a fairly big dwelling, probably, 10 feet from this rock to there is 10 feet. At the widest part is probably 5.5 feet, and then back on the end there, about 2.5 feet. And this was, apparently they used this all the way along the front here. So it's interesting. I wonder how high up it went. If it went higher than this.
He also points out how well the ceiling and supports were engineered. Higher up, Dave reaches a larger room that may have been the main living space.
And this may have been the main living area. I mean, it's fairly large. I mean, it's a good 10 feet across in the middle, 8 feet across at the back there. And from here to there, it's about 12 to 15 feet. So this was a large room. I mean, you could fit a family could sleep in here easily.
What stands out most are the ancient roof ties still holding in place, knots made by human hands, roughly 1,000 years ago. By the end, he counts several rooms and coves across the site, showing how extensive the dwelling once was. From a distance, the ruins almost disappear into the cliff, blending perfectly with the canyon wall. Ray Gloom's Real Life Encounters is a paranormal and overnight exploration channel focused on strange encounters, abandoned locations, and unsettling stayovers. In this video, Ray and his friend arrive at his parents' remote property, expecting a quiet overnight stay. But almost immediately, things begin to feel wrong. As soon as they enter the dark cabin, they notice multiple lights are not working, and the house looks strangely abandoned.
I haven't been. This is my parents' place. I haven't. Okay, that's the outside.
Oh wait, that didn't do anything?
This one, it's not working.
Well, that's not working.
Okay.
We'll go find another. The power. There's some power.
Well, the outside light's working.
Wait a minute. No, that uses a battery.
That's Wi-Fi.
That's Wi-Fi?
Yeah. Whoa, got one.
That one worked. Okay. Okay, just a burnout light, I guess.
With food still left sitting out as if someone suddenly left in a hurry, they begin checking doors and windows, trying to figure out if someone may have been inside recently. The tension increases when lights start switching off on their own and doors appear to move by themselves.
Okay. I just saw your door move.
I closed that door, I thought.
I just saw your door move.
Wait. Is that a TV running? Do you hear that? Listen.
That was a little sound. But right before you came in here, I think I got it on here, that the door went whoop.
Let me turn my light brighter.
So,
You better not be messing with me.
I'm not. I'll follow you.
Dude, this is scaring me.
Bro. The light just turned off behind me.
Okay, turn it on. Go over to the wall where it is and turn it on. Wait, I'm coming. Which one of these is it?
There's one right here. Does this...
I think this is it.
Dude, I think...
That's the light for this one.
Dude.
While inspecting the bedrooms, they discover one of the room doors has been completely removed and left leaning against the wall, which neither of them remember seeing before.
I need to talk to my parents about that and see if they took the... But the door was on there.
I can't remember. I thought it was on. Well, okay, obviously it wasn't. Because here it is. So
apparently.
So someone took the door off.
I'm going to have to talk to my parents about that.
Later that night, the atmosphere becomes even stranger. After hearing noises around the house,
For Pete's sake, come on! I just got into bed.
That hurt.
Ray finds a real kitchen knife hidden underneath a pillow in the bedroom. At the exact same moment, a painting suddenly shifts on the wall by itself.
There's like a rock under there.
Whoa.
Oh, that's creepy.
Bro, that ain't no rock.
Okay, that just creeped me out. Why is there a knife right there?
What was that? What the heck?
Did that painting just move?
Dude, that painting just moved.
I heard it. I heard.
Right when I revealed the knife, the painting moved.
Leaving both of them genuinely shaken. Believing a squatter may be outside, they attempt to leave and contact police, only to discover they suddenly have no phone service and the car will no longer start.
Alright. It's not even turning over. You got... Your battery's okay. Your check engine light's on though.
It's not even cranking over.
Shit. Okay, I'm really worried he just sabotaged your car.
Moments later, they hear something hit the vehicle from outside, but when they look, nobody is there.
What was that? Did you hear that? He just hit the back window. Nope, I'm going in. Nope. Nope. Nope, I'm going in. Okay.
The next morning brings even more confusion. Windows and blinds that were closed the night before are now open. Water is mysteriously running inside the house, and the fireplace appears to switch itself on without anyone touching it.
Hey, you awake? Did you leave the water running and the blind open?
Water running?
Yeah. The blind's open in the kitchen area and the water's running. We closed these last night.
Do you think that squatter actually got in?
I don't know.
By the second night, both men are exhausted and unnerved. Strange lights appear in the bedroom again. They think they see movement inside the room and eventually decide to set up a trail camera before trying to sleep.
That's not my light.
That's not your light.
Get on the floor and look underneath. That is really creeping me out.
That's not your light. Did you leave your flashlight on?
I left it in here. No, I didn't leave it on.
The following morning, the car suddenly starts without explanation.
Started. Why would it start now? Okay, never mind. Let's get our stuff. Let's get out of here.
Let's go.
And they quickly decide to leave the property behind. Paranormal Discovery is a wilderness horror channel where the creator mixes solo camping, paranormal investigation, and deep forest exploration. In this overnight video, he returns alone to the Deadlands with his dog Kia after a previous encounter with a mysterious entity called Audrey. The night begins with heavy wind, dark skies, and an uneasy atmosphere as he sets up a hammock tent near a remote lake. He explains that the area has become one of his main paranormal hotspots, and that Audrey may be connected to the forest and his dreams. As the storm calms, the video briefly shifts into a normal camping trip.
Up in Cape Breton, still an abundance of moose. So many up there. It's pretty common, but down here in the mainland of Nova Scotia, we're running low, man. I guess what I'm getting at here is I want her to be on lead, because I did research that dogs should be on lead, just so they don't kind of interfere with the mainland moose out here and other wildlife. So it's not like she'll like go after one. She'll defend us, but I just don't want, like, let's say a moose comes around or to the lake in the morning or something, I don't want her to temper with it. I don't want her to, you know, start something, or else it'll be a fight between a moose and a dog, or a moose, a dog, and me, a human. So, yeah, it's kind of a protective thing right now. I'm trying to protect the wildlife, but also protect her.
He cooks dinner, talks about moose in Nova Scotia, and explains why Kia stays on a leash in this wilderness. Even during the calmer moments, he keeps noticing movement in the trees.
To kind of ponder about, I think something's moving back there. I keep seeing movement, and I don't know what that is. The hell?
And says the forest feels alive around him. After dark, the Spirit Talker app starts producing strange words near the lake, including encounter, Gabriel, green eyes, and aggressive.
Green eyes.
Green eyes. Is Audrey around me right now?
These responses seem to connect back to Audrey from the earlier investigation.
I ran into an entity back there a few days ago named Audrey. Is Audrey here?
Later, the atmosphere becomes more intense. Loud tree knocks echo through the woods.
Violate.
Violate? What the fuck is that?
And he hears strange movement around the campsite.
I don't know how I'm having service right now. I'm like in and out of service, but what was that sound? It's a fucking tree knock. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Holly.
Holly. Holly, who are you? Man. Like, I actually wonder if anyone here has, like, that is unrelated to the indigenous folks. Like, I wonder if anyone's actually passed away here.
He also hears what sounds like distant drums and begins checking the forest with a flashlight.
Jesus. What's there? Hello? You know what's weird? So that's actually the hot tent making that snapping noise. But you know what's weird? I'm actually hearing like drums. Distant drums.
He then tries knocking on trees himself, and something appears to knock back from the darkness.
There it is again. It's replying back to me.
Curious but nervous, he grabs bear spray and walks toward the empty campground near the lake while calling out for Audrey. Back at camp, he feels Audrey is nearby and wonders whether it followed him from the earlier location.
Right now, I'm just popping in here to kind of update you guys on what I'm feeling. It's very intimidating out there. I feel like there's a spiritual thing going on out there,
I honestly feel like people are walking out there. I may seem psychotic. I'm like half asleep right now.
By morning, the forest feels calmer, but he still believes Audrey may be part of an ongoing mystery in the Deadlands. Chad is an exploration creator known for late-night randonautica videos, abandoned places, and unsettling trails where strange clues often appear. In this video, he follows another randonautica point deep into the woods and begins finding objects connected to someone named Anna. The video starts with Chad entering a wrecked construction area beside the woods. The location already feels abandoned and uneasy, with broken buildings, flooded rooms, and fences leading toward a hidden trail.
The point is somewhere here. It's somewhere back here. I don't really know where. It's somewhere in this area. This is so creepy, man. This is so creepy. Look, they destroyed all of this.
After entering the woods, he discovers rows of small locked wooden chairs that resemble a creepy miniature cemetery.
These are nice benches, holy crap. Well, they got locks on them. Okay. I'm not sure what they would keep in there. Oh my god. Dude, this looks like almost like a little cemetery of little chairs. Look at how creepy that is.
Around the same time, his camera's facial recognition begins detecting something in the trees despite nobody being visible.
Thing here. My facial recognition again, dude, is pointing me that way. That's creepy. Oh my god, I'm gonna take a picture of that again and show it to you because I don't know why it's doing that.
As he moves deeper into the trail, Chad starts finding random children's objects, including toy kitchen items and lost keys scattered through the forest.
What is this? It's like a little freaking baggie here. It's a toy. I don't know. This is weird. Okay. This randonautica stuff is actually really creepy. I can't believe I'm finding stuff again already. Somebody lost their keys. Their car's keys. Oh, there's like pots and pans in here. That's weird.
Soon after, he hears what sounds like a distant scream, forcing him to stop and listen in panic.
What's that? What the hell was that? Dude, that sounded like somebody screaming. That sounded like somebody screaming.
The tension grows when he spots a strange light deeper in the woods before crossing a creek into darker trails.
This is so unbelievably creepy. What is that? Dude, I see a light. I see a light over there. Look. Oh, that's a reflection. That scared me. What is that? I can't even begin to tell you guys how creepy it is back here. Oh, this is like another offbeat trail. What the hell? Oh, I don't know what that is. It's...
Later, he discovers an envelope containing a handwritten riddle.
Okay. Weird. Just an envelope here. Whoa. say? I am an odd number. Take away a letter and I become even?
I am an odd number. Take away a letter and I become even. The forest becomes increasingly unsettling after his spirit app begins producing odd responses like begin, don't tell, and it's not human.
Begin? Begin. I don't know what that means. But here I am, lost in the woods somewhere.
Chad also finds a child's sandal hidden beside the trail, which visibly shakes him.
I just heard somebody. But look, dude. There's a freaking, like a little girl's shoe here. Or sandal?
Later in the investigation, Chad discovers more disturbing objects connected to Anna, including a crossed-out photo frame and several clocks stopped near the number 7.
One of the hands is on 7. Remember the last one? It was 7 o'clock on the other clock that I found. One of the hands is on 7. So it's 5:30.
Near the end of the video, he finds a dead deer beside a box containing water and a note saying, "She's thirsty."
Oh, what is this? What's this? There's a box here. There's water. What the hell? There's a little note thing in here. She's thirsty? Come out, man. Come out. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. I assume that's about Anna. Is she alive?
The discovery finally convinces him to leave the woods immediately. Strayed Explorer is a solo paranormal exploration channel where Andy investigates abandoned places, usually with EVP, spirit apps, and trigger devices. In this video, he returns after a 2-month break to explore a huge overgrown fort alone. The night begins with Andy showing the scale of the place. An 8-meter deep moat, an 11-meter wide gap, and a single entrance leading into the fort.
I know I have just shown you some drone footage, but the moat is 8 meters deep and 11 meters wide. And until I've just walked up here to look at it, you don't understand the size of it. Just look at this. I don't know if the camera's doing it any justice, but that is the back wall. There'll be another one here. It goes 8 meters down and 11 meters all the way to the other side. And that goes all the way around in, I think it was like the shape of a hexagon, if I remember right.
Even before he gets fully inside, he hears what sounds like a man's voice, echoing through the tunnel.
And here we arrive at the door. Jeez, man. So apparently we come through this tunnel. Once we get through here, we're into the fort. Was that an echo? Sounded like a man's voice. So, I'm feeling a little bit rusty.
I've had a whole 2 months break, and I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to come out on my own after such a long break into such a vast, creepy place.
Once inside, he realizes how massive and confusing the fort is. The sun is going down, the paths are swallowed by plants, and he worries about getting lost in the dark while searching for the underground tunnels. After pushing through the overgrowth, Andy finds the tunnel entrance and steps into the lower chambers.
Oh man, here it is. Hello? See daylight at the end.
The rooms are huge, cold, and filled with strange details, including bones scattered across the floor and unexplained rumbling in the walls.
Bones everywhere. And they're all exactly the same bone. Like, if there's any bone experts out there, what are they? Why is there so many of them?
He begins calling out, asking if any spirits want to communicate.
I think what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go back to that first bit where we was and get out a bit of equipment and just see if we can get any interactions on that. I have been doing some calling out. I haven't had any direct responses, but I'm definitely hearing weird knocking noises and rumbling. I don't know if the mic's going to be picking that up or not, but...
At first, there are only knocks and distant sounds. But then an EVP seems to say something like, "Coming downstairs in a minute."
Is he coming downstairs in a minute? I feel like that says coming downstairs in a minute, which is kind of odd because I asked about the knock upstairs.
Which unnerves him because he had just mentioned hearing a knock from upstairs. The activity grows stronger when he sets up a light device. It responds almost immediately.
This on what I'm holding, you can use it to say words to me. If you are here, can you try and touch that device on the floor to let me know that you understand? What I did want to do was use seer, but no way. Straight away. So you understand? I assume that's why you've just made that light up green. Can you try and tell me your name with this? What I was going to say, I wanted to use seer, but it needs an internet connection to use the AI to generate the images, and there's no signal down here.
Lighting green and then red on command. The Spirit app gives names like Catherine and Patricia, while the device confirms answers at the same time. Then Andy hears footsteps nearby.
I can hear footsteps. That's walking. Hello?
The sounds seem too heavy and deliberate to be simple rustling, and the app says unsettling phrases like cry, trust me, there's bad here, and finally, you're next, twice. He finishes with one last EVP attempt.
I want you to do it again. Put all your energy into it, take the energy from these devices, and I want you to very clearly say, well, say whatever you want.
Still hearing unclear voices and movement, before deciding the fort has gone quiet enough to leave. What's Up with James is an outdoor adventure channel where James explores abandoned places, camps in remote areas, and tests how far he can push himself alone. In this video, he finds an abandoned mine site and decides to camp there overnight. James begins by exploring the old mining buildings. The first structure is strangely covered in shingles even over the door.
This is cool.
And inside he finds old drawers, a built-in wall refrigerator, rat droppings, and a tiny shoe. Nearby, he checks a larger shop or barn filled with old metal, roofing material, and signs that someone may have lived there while trying to work the mine again.
A bunch of old metal plates and stuff out here. It's crazy.
He then follows an old PVC tube into the brush, unsure if it once carried water from a well or served some mining purpose.
If it was heading down this way, cuts through there, let's see. Looks like it wraps back around actually. I don't know if it had always been down here, if there was like an old well.
James explains this area is near the same place, connected to his earlier Skinwalker story, which makes the abandoned mine feel even more unsettling. He tries lowering a GoPro into the main shaft, but quickly realizes it is too dangerous to enter alone.
I don't know what you guys are seeing. It really doesn't look like there's an option for that though. And I'm not stupid enough to try to go into a mine like that by myself without any equipment. So I gotta close this door to this abandoned house here.
Instead, he searches nearby and finds more abandoned structures, including a strange old house that looks partly renovated, as if someone started restoring it and suddenly stopped.
All right, let me go explore the area a little bit more. And I did come across this, which looks like it's a different house, but it's seen something interesting down here. Maybe not. I thought perhaps that this house had a grave. From the road, this one kind of looked like a grave. I don't think that's what it is. But yeah, so these bricks out here, there's a little town called Ancho that you drive through on the way here, and I guess there's a spot there where they used to manufacture bricks. I don't know if all of these came from there specifically.
Deeper up the road, he discovers several smaller mine openings, some too tight to crawl into safely. One mine finally allows him inside.
Well, this one, this one pretty much is just this.
He crouches through the dark passage, admits he hates how it feels, and reaches the bottom of a shaft.
Not that a mine is necessarily supposed to be comfortable.
With side tunnels and old tool marks in the rock. Later, another tunnel pushes him even harder. Bugs swarm everywhere.
See, this is like, isn't this because they're trying to prop up? Okay, let's go.
He finds a dead hawk inside, and altogether on the way out, he accidentally headbutts a bat. Back at camp, James reflects on how uncomfortable abandoned mines make him. Then tests his night vision around the buildings and mine entrance before sleeping in the quiet, desert-like silence. Dee's Dark Adventures is a paranormal and cryptid exploration channel, where Dee goes live from remote, unsettling locations, often following strange sounds, eye shine, and possible creature activity deep in the woods. In this video, Dee and David enter a dark forest, where the ground is covered in thick pine needles, making it almost impossible to hear anything approaching, unless it wants to be heard. Almost immediately, they hear strange knocks, rock-like sounds, and heavy brakes around them.
Wait a minute. I don't know if that's planted or not. All right, stay close. Did you hear that? That was a rock. Dude, that's not us. He didn't knock. That wasn't him. Let's just say that was a big break. And that's been what, 20, 30 minutes since we heard the last one? So who knows when it'll do it again. You won't be able to hear walking, guys. This is inches upon inches, feet upon feet of pine needle layout over years. That was what? Every time we do something.
As they move deeper, Dee points out strange structures, lean-tos, bends, bones, and signs that something may be using the area.
You already looking at this bag?
No, I was looking at, I thought I saw eyes. I was trying to get, are there bones already? Oh my gosh, no, I didn't see them. I was looking at other stuff. Oh wow, that's the two back legs of something. Nice. There's another one. Should we follow the bones? See that light? That's our bus. So just keep it in the back of your mind. I keep looking for it, so. We're not lost yet. There's a ravine over here.
David grows nervous, especially as they lose confidence in the trail and realize how easy it would be to get turned around in the dark. After more movement and distant sounds, Dee decides to walk David back toward the bus so he can rest. She admits she does not really want to be alone, but continues the investigation anyway.
All right, guys, I'm gonna walk him back to the bus. Not all the way, but let him get back, because I don't want him falling out here. I won't be able to get him back out if he does. Now, if I had a big bag and equipment on me, I could wrap him in a sheet and tie a rope on it, pull him out, but that'd still be hard.
Listening for banging, movement, and strange activity in the distance. Alone in the woods, Dee starts noticing odd lights, possible faces, and movement around her. Her light begins dying, and she feels like something is following her. She struggles to find the trail again, but eventually spots signs and tries to calm herself down.
Was that my dogs? I don't know if that was my dogs or not. What is that? I don't know what that white face is right there. I don't know what that is.
The scariest moment comes when Dee sees something tall in the trees.
Hold on. Hi, is that you making all that ruckus? Hi, my name's Dee. Hold on. Where'd you go? Oh, hi. Hello. You're tall. Hi. It's standing up more. Hello.
At first, she thinks it may just be leaves or eye shine, but then it appears to move away while holding a branch.
It's not moving, so it's not as scary as when it moves. Hi. Are you frozen? Can you move? Are you moving? Are you there? Where'd you go? Am I looking at leaves and not eyes?
Moments later, she sees more eye shine and panics. When she realizes it may match what the rangers warned her about.
Guys. Eye shine. Look, back here. Hold on. Eye shine. Hi. Hold on. Where's that? I don't know if I can get it on there. Hi. Wait. Do you guys see it? I can't get it. Hold on. Hi. Ah, that's not what I think it is. Oh my God, no. Dude.
Dee finally reveals the warning. Creatures in this forest can look human, Bigfoot-like, or like something else on top, but have goat-like legs below.
Dude. No, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. No, I didn't even tell you guys. Wait, which way's the out? Is that out? Nope, I'm done. I'm done.
After seeing what she believes are two of them, she backs out and heads toward the bus. Grizzly Gaz is an outdoor camping channel built around van life. Wild camping, dry humor, and exploring interesting places with his dog. In this video, Gaz returns to the correct camping field near Heptonstall, hoping for a peaceful night in the van after his previous mistake parking in the wrong spot. He starts with a relaxed setup showing the quiet field, the open views, and the medieval village below. Since his meat has not defrosted yet, he heads into Heptonstall to look around and maybe find food or a pint. The village has a lot of history. Gaz walks past old stone buildings, the water pump, churches, graveyards, and the grave of David Hartley, leader of the Crag Vale Coiners.
If I remember rightly, I think there's 3 churches up here. Well, there might just be 2. One old
decrepit one. Oh, here it is. There's the first one. And the other one's just behind it over there. But wow, look at this place. I'm sure that Sir David Hartley's grave is here. If you don't know who's Sir David Hartley, or King David Hartley as he were called, he was the leader of the Cragvale coiners. Oh, here we go, look. Oh, pennies on it.
He also points out places connected to local battles and filming locations from the Coiners series. The pub visit is disappointing. Gaz says the fish cakes were rubbery, the beer was lukewarm, and the atmosphere felt like the pub scene from An American Werewolf in London.
Well, that was disappointing. I got some a fish cake starter. They only do Thai food there, and the lass that served me food, she looked about 10-year-old. But yeah, fish cake starter. The fish cakes were like the texture of a 6-year-old flip-flop, proper rubbery. And the Wainwright beer, that were quite warm. Well, it were. Yeah,
back at the van, he feeds his dog, talks
nice
through
here.
the camper setup, shows the windows, seat covers, steering wheel cover, table, lights, and small camping upgrades. Rain starts outside, and the van becomes a cozy little shelter for the night. Later, Gaz tells a creepy but funny story about seeing a black shadow move through his kitchen at home.
Now, I'll tell you what shipped me up the other night at home. I was sat on the sofa, 2 o'clock in the morning. Let me paint the picture, actually. 2 o'clock in the morning, the only light that's emitting is from the TV. And where I'm sat on the sofa, I can see straight through the doorway into the kitchen. So I'm sat there watching rubbish on YouTube, as I do, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I see in the kitchen a black shadow just go across. And then I heard something knock over in the kitchen. Oh, fuck. Someone's in my house. So I've got up to go and have a look. And I've gone in, feeling light switch, see where light switch, and then the black shadow's gone that way then, up onto my kitchen counter. And as I turned light on, the black shadow's gone straight out my window. So I've run out the back door, turned light on, and it were a black cat. It ran up and over my fence. So a black cat had sneaked into my house with window open. So what's the moral of that story? Don't leave your windows open at night time? I don't know.
Only to discover it was a black cat sneaking through the window. After drifting off in the van, he suddenly wakes to a disturbing sound outside.
Can't figure out what that is. Must be some type of bird. Let me know in comments if you know what it is.
It sounds like someone screaming in the darkness, but he cannot figure out what it is and wonders if it might be a bird. By morning, everything feels calm again. Gaz makes breakfast, enjoys the view, talks about van life, and checks in on his dog's health before ending the trip quietly. Dead Appalachia is an Appalachian horror and exploration channel that mixes folklore, dark humor, and real outdoor investigations. In this video, Luke heads into Worley's Cave in Bluff City, Tennessee, with Raznick Outdoors and Dakota Trails to investigate crawler legends and the ghost story of Elias Worley. The video begins with Luke explaining why Appalachia is full of caves, sinkholes, underground rivers, and hidden passages. He connects this to missing person stories and the legend of pale humanoid crawlers said to live deep underground. They enter Worley's Cave, a massive, privately owned cave system.
It's located here in Bluff City, Tennessee. It's a privately owned cave. It goes down for like 8 miles. People get hurt here all the time. People need constant rescues, and it may even be haunted because a feller died in here, supposedly. So we're going to investigate that as we go further in, but yeah.
And immediately begin exploring tight limestone passages, old formations, bats, and mining traces. The group jokes about who they would sacrifice if a crawler came running at them. As they move deeper, the cave becomes tighter and more dangerous.
Oh, dude. Oh, we're going to have to... No, we don't have to crawl. There's a nice little chute right here. By the way, critters, doing this with one hand is very difficult. All right, I'm Chunky. He's scripted bait. We're gonna need him for later. You want to take this GoPro and just check out what that room is?
Yeah, I got you, dude.
Okay.
They crawl through narrow chutes, slide down slick rock, and find sudden drops where one wrong move could send someone falling into darkness.
Nah, we going head first, boys. This is a tight turn right here. A little room down here. Oh.
Made it, boys. Howdy. Yeah, so it just kind of goes down. There's this sharp turn, and then you kind of got to like fall down, and it just comes out right here.
The first creepy moment comes when someone thinks they see something move ahead of them. They stop, listen, and check the area, but nothing obvious appears.
Did y'all see that?
What was it?
I'm probably seeing shadows, but it looks like something ran in front of us right there.
Oh, hell no, bro.
You keep going forward a little bit. I'm gonna wait right here.
The massive cave makes every sound hard to place. Further inside, they hear strange voices or movements echoing from deeper in the cave.
Of calcium. You guys hear that?
Sounds like voices back there.
Oh, here. Shh.
They switch to thermal and keep watching, unsure whether the sounds are water, animals, or something else moving nearby. The group continues through freezing water and huge chambers, hearing more unexplained clicking and movement above them. One passage leads toward another chamber, but it is steep, slick, and too dangerous to climb safely.
This is a 5,000 lumen flashlight, and it barely illuminates the top enough, so I'd say easily over 100 foot. I mean, this is a tall room. Look at this chasm. Look at him compared to the... I mean, this is crazy. Oh, that is cold.
A little chilly?
I might as well reacquaint myself with it.
That's a little.
Okay, that's not as bad as before, to be honest. Scared the hell out of me, dude. What?
Swear to God, I just heard something up there. I don't.
Here, shh. I don't know, man.
There's like a click clack. I don't know if it's.
There's a whole other passage. I don't know if that was like a noise on the yellmate or what.
Alright, he's gonna go up there because there's another chamber right there. He wants to see if we can get some eyes on it.
Near the end, they crawl into a cramped crevice to recreate the fear Elias Worley may have felt when he died, lost in the cave. They attempt an EMF session asking if Elias or anything non-human is present.
Elias Worley, my name is Luke. I'm here with Raznik and Dakota. We are here to communicate with you. We are putting ourselves in a situation that you yourself may have been in all those years ago when you got lost in here and you died that horrible death. If you are still here, if you are still lingering because of the traumatic and awful way that you died, please communicate with us. We are giving you full permission to communicate with us. We are not your enemies. We are your friends, and we want to know your story and try to get to know you better.
But receive no clear response. Luke concludes that the cave may not be haunted, but the strange noises and crawler legends still leave the place feeling deeply unsettling. Search for Supernatural is a paranormal investigation channel focused on haunted locations, spirit communication, and intense real-time reactions. In this episode, the team returns to the so-called House of Death before heading into the surrounding trail system. They start by entering the brick house, a place with a heavy and unsettling atmosphere.
So we are headed back over to the House of Death to set up a static camera to let it run until it dies. And then we're gonna head into the trail system and see what we can't capture in there. See if we can communicate with some of the dead soldiers.
Inside, they describe the air as hard to breathe and set up equipment, including a body cam, REM pod, music box, and static camera, hoping to capture activity while they investigate. The first major session happens in the dark room, where a girl named Melissa is said to have died. I'm from the light.
The old airplane.
So the girl's name who died in here?
Melissa, right?
Melissa Elliott. Just getting all four corners of the room, boys.
I ain't scared. I'll get near the door.
I'm from the light.
Whoa.
I just turned it on.
You're from the light?
What does that mean, you're from the light?
And soon after, they hear bangs, scratches, and footsteps coming from the basement below them. Things become more disturbing when the app says, "You're making a mistake," just as they talk about leaving the safe room.
In a safe space in this room.
So
other entities can't come in.
You're making a mistake.
Oh shit, no, hold up.
What do you mean we're making a
I was gonna
mistake?
show the black salt, I'm not going out there.
What do you mean we're making a mistake?
Their batteries begin draining quickly, and the responses seem to suggest something angry is trapped downstairs, unable to reach them. The activity escalates when they hear more thuds. The basement motion light suddenly turns on, and they run out of the house in panic.
I don't want to go out last.
Dude, the basement light's on. The basement light's on. I swear on all my...
Dude, it's a motion light.
I'm done. You demon. Shit. No demons.
Yo, check if that's still running.
It's still running.
That's I don't want to go out last. Dude, the basement light's on. The basement light's on. I swear on all my...
It's a motion light.
I'm done.
Outside, they notice the curtains moving even though there is no power, making the brick house feel even more threatening.
Holy shit. I say we don't go back in that house until the sun comes up. This house is scary. Dude, this brick house.
They're still moving.
Oh my god. I'm trying to. Does it zoom? Nope. 10 minutes? What is 10 minutes? There, I zoomed in, 2x.
After regrouping, they head into the trail system connected to Civil War history. In the woods, they hear footsteps behind them. Strange banging sounds like drums or cannon fire.
Yeah, little son of a bitch.
Is this poisonous?
No, it's not poisonous. They just got sharp teeth. Anyway, as I was saying, we're heading back out here into the woods to try and see if we can catch any evidence from any of the over 2,000 soldiers that died during the Civil War.
And one of them has a terrifying vision of something from the house chasing them through the trees.
Fire up spirit talker.
You guys want to get dark? No.
Whoa. Did you hear that?
Oh, what is that? Dude, it sounds like bongos.
Dude, that sounded like cannon fire.
Okay.
They return to the basement to set up a remote experiment, leaving equipment running while planning to communicate from the cabin instead of staying inside the house.
So we're over here in the basement of the brick house. It's scary as hell. We have set up a whole bunch of cat balls. We got the full spectrum camera over there on the paint can. REM pod on the stairs. Music box over there on the table. We got it plugged in and we're just gonna let it run for a few hours and see if we catch anything.
All right, Jay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, we're gonna run an experiment. Now, I have a walkie-talkie hanging in the rafters. We're gonna go back to the cabin.
Back at the cabin, the fear continues. They hear footsteps, whistling, scratching, and what sounds like a little girl's voice before a loud bang upstairs.
Whoa.
Kicked it? Yeah. What?
I just heard a footstep in that little room.
You heard that, right? Like ran up after us?
Yo, let's get out of here.
Not last, bro, not last.
All right, hold on.
Come on, I'm right here.
You hold my hand. I want you
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Sends them to investigate again. Genevieve is a Randonautica creator who explores strange locations using spooky intentions, intuition, and whatever the app leads her to. In this video, she returns to Golden, Colorado, hoping to reconnect with Randonautica during spooky season. She begins by explaining that she has been away from Randonautica for a while.
All right, end of sidebar. So here is where I am in Golden. So I've tried to be kind of in like the center of Golden. Golden is really pretty big. And as you can see, it's right along the foothills over here. And last time it took me up into the mountains, my point. And I'm kind of hoping to do the same, but I really don't know. I have no idea and I can't, whatever I think that something might happen, it never happens the way that I think it will. So I'm just gonna be open to whatever. But to go back to what I was saying like a whole minute ago, in Genevieve's mind, it's spooky season. So we're gonna do some spooky intentions and hopefully I'm not gonna scare myself too much, but that's never the case. So I don't know why I'm even hoping that. I always get freaked out very easily.
But Golden feels like the right place to restart. Her first intention is bold. She asks the app to lead her to the most haunted thing in the area. The point takes her toward North Table Mountain Park, which immediately unsettles her, because she had already felt intuitively drawn to that exact area before even opening the app. On the way, she also describes a creepy man in a nearby car who had been staring at her in a disturbing way.
Spot. I am so freaked out now by the guy next to me who, in my sidebar, I told you was parked in his car right next to me. He happened to walk into his car kind of just when I started filming. And as I'm filming and he rolled down his window. I like refuse to look over at him because that becomes like when there's creepy people around you and they start doing subtle things to get your attention. If you give them the attention, that's like, they see that as like, oh, she's gonna engage with me. So as I start driving away, like, you know, you have to look left and right because you're pulling out of a spot. And I look to my right and he's like fully like looking at me. And
when she reaches the trail, the point appears to be up on the hillside.
Off-road.
The
See how
area
that
is
goes
beautiful,
for me
but
today.
also intimidating.
I did not follow my...
Especially after she notices signs warning about rattlesnakes.
But then there's this rattlesnake sign. Rattlesnakes and dogs don't mix. Rattlesnakes live here. Be safe, not sorry. Leash your dog. Well, that's great to know as I am planning to off-road in the grass. I guess I know that rattlesnakes live in pretty much any grassy area like this in Colorado. I just know that. And fall tends to be when they're less active.
Since she is wearing sandals, stepping off trail into the grass becomes more frightening than expected. As she moves closer, she feels the land has some unknown historical weight to it. She wonders if the butte or the surrounding valley once had importance to Native American people, maybe as a lookout point or a spiritual place. She tries to go farther into the grass, but grasshoppers, cactus, hidden dead grass, and what she thinks could be a rattle make her stop before reaching the exact point.
So I'm just going to film the grass, and you're going to watch with me because I'm really nervous about rattlesnakes, and I don't like this at all. Oh, what is that? Okay. That is also a piece of styrofoam. So stuff clearly does get caught in the grass. Oh, I don't like this at all because of the snakes. Okay, something weird. Okay, I don't know if I like this. We might be going back.
Back at the car, she admits the area did not feel ghostly, but it did feel historically significant. Then she sets a second intention, to be led to an actual ghost. This time the app leads her near the Coors factory, into a busy industrial area full of trucks, gates, security signs, and stressful energy. She cannot safely access the exact point, but says it feels exactly like the kind of hectic old place where a ghost might linger. Wandering Simon is an outdoor exploration channel focused on scenic walks, hidden ruins, local legends, and atmospheric places across Scotland. In this video, Simon begins in the peaceful village of Gifford before heading toward Danskin Loch and the mysterious ruins of Yester Castle. He starts the trip in Gifford, showing the quiet village and explaining the plan.
Today we're in the beautiful town of Gifford. That's where our journey begins. I'm starting today's journey here in Gifford, a quiet Scottish village, full of history and surrounded by rolling countryside. From here I'll set off into the woods and beyond, towards hidden places where landscapes grow darker and the past lingers in the ruins.
Visit the loch first, then continue toward a castle linked to stories of goblins, necromancy, and black magic.
So today we're going on a little excursion. We're starting out in Gifford, then we're gonna head to a lake, and after that we're gonna go to see ruins of a castle that apparently was built by goblins and a necromancer. First though, I want to get some...
At Danskin Loch, Simon scouts the area as a potential camping spot. The place is calm, quiet, and sheltered, with enough open space for tents and a peaceful view over the water.
So quiet. Usually wherever you go to places, even remote places, but well-known places, there's always a lot of people. And this seems to be like one of those spots that not many people know about. I only stumbled upon it because I was thinking where to go this weekend, and I was basically just looking at Google Maps.
From there, he follows the Yester path into the woods. The route quickly becomes more atmospheric, with streams, muddy forks, wrong turns, and a small waterfall that makes the walk feel more like a hidden adventure.
This is cool as well. I just hope I'm not gonna fall, because that would be not nice. Whoa. Whew. That would be a perfect place to dump a dead body. Let's crack on. So once you have crossed that little bridge that I just crossed, there will be a fork with a lot of mud, and then there's one way going uphill.
As Simon gets deeper into the forest, he explains that the place has a mystical feeling. The sounds of branches, birds, and animals could easily spook someone walking alone.
There is a lot of sounds that you find in forests like this. Branches cracking and snapping, little squirrels or deer or birds hiding in the bushes, and then they hear you and they start flapping their wings. So nothing to be concerned about, obviously, but if you're of a faint-hearted nature, maybe bring a friend with you. But I'm not scared because I'm a real man, because that's who I am, and I'm Polish. We don't fear.
Especially with the legends surrounding the castle. Eventually, the first ruins of Yester Castle appear through the trees.
Built in the 13th century, its stones have stood for over 700 years, but this is no ordinary ruin. Legend says the castle was raised by a man whispered to be a necromancer. With the help of otherworldly forces, some say goblins, summoned from the earth itself, he constructed the vaults beneath these walls.
Built in the 13th century, the castle is tied to Hugo de Gifford, who legend says was a magician or necromancer who used goblins to help build the structure. Simon then finds the entrance to Goblin Ha, the underground vault beneath the castle. Inside, the stonework is still impressive, but the space becomes tight and eerie.
It's very cool at the same time.
He hears possible voices, jokes about goblins, and reaches the caved-in end of the passage.
Let's see how far we can go. Very cool. This is caved in. Oh, I need to take my backpack off. Oh, can't see anything. Oh. Okay. So I would have stayed a little longer probably. I brought a gas stove with me and some water and coffee to sit there for a bit and enjoy peace and quiet, but I don't really want to listen to that sort of peace and quiet, so I'm just gonna go.
Before leaving, he notes how rare it is to explore a place this historic for free, even if the peace is eventually ruined by people blasting music nearby.